pasa, cabrón? Modern dating advice is absolutely trash, but you already know this because you've watched all the top 7 ways to pick up chicks videos, and yet you're still struggling with women. In this video, I'm going to teach you some practical advice that if you implement, you can start seeing results instantly right away and start attracting your future wife. I remember I used to get stood up all the time, or I'd get like a first date, but I would never get past that. Like I would never get a second date. I've told this story on the channel before, but there was one time in particular that I remember. I had taken this girl out and we were going to get some coffee. It was just a little daytime date, and it was the first time we were meeting, and so we were just gonna try to get to know each other and stuff. And I was trying all these tactics that I saw from a bunch of like red pill videos and a bunch of dating advice videos that I thought would work, and I thought it was going to go really well. I tried using a bunch of the dating advice that I've seen in all these videos, like again, like I said, the top 7 ways to pick up chicks, whatever. And I thought it was going really well. I thought I was doing my thing, you know, spitting some game. I thought I looked good. I thought everything was amazing. I literally thought that this girl was going to be obsessed with me after this date. But no, absolutely not. That is not what happened. You know, we said goodbye and she was very cordial and nice and everything, but afterwards she had texted me this like long novel talking about how that was the weirdest experience she's ever been through and that it was just absolutely horrible. And then she blocked me, told me there was not going to be a second date, and she blocked me. That was a breaking point for me because I was tired of getting stood up. I was tired of getting left on red. I was tired of getting left on delivered. And so, you know, I made an effort to actually learn what a man should be like in a relationship and how to actually start attracting women. I would research all these videos on the internet, look at all these red pill videos, read all these books like Art of Seduction, Ways to Pure Man, all this different stuff, trying to figure out like how to become the man that my future wife is going to need. And all this led to like, you know, making very strong improvements with myself. And then I ended up getting into the relationship that I'm in now. And, you know, being on self-improvement and everything, that's just enhanced my relationship that much more. It's probably one of the most stable and secure relationships I've ever had. She makes me very happy. She loves me very much. She respects me so much. Like, just little things like that. Like she drew that. It's a little picture of me from the Instagram, which follow below if you haven't already. Drew that for me. That's just on my goal board. You see that in every video. She does all these different things for me, and it just makes me really happy. And you know, she's even one of my biggest supporters on this channel. Like she watches all my videos, and like she shows me like she's watching all my videos and stuff. So it's like it just makes me very happy. Which, baby, if you're watching this video, dame un beso. Mwah. Anyways, I want to show you how you can improve yourself so you can end up getting in a relationship like this, and you can, you know, be the man that you're meant to be. Now, before I get into some of the more niche advice, I want to go ahead and talk about like the big elephant in the room that everybody's going to talk about if I don't talk about in the comments. I'm like, oh, you missed this. This is what girls think. This is the only thing that's important. Obviously, you need to improve your looks and your game. That's going to be the first thing that anybody notices you. So it's not even just for your relationships, but just for business in general, just your social skills in general is just improving both your looks and your game. Obviously not game in terms of like talking to regular people. You're not spitting game at, you know, your friends. You're spitting game at, you know, the girl you find attractive, and you're just enhancing your social skills with just strangers and people in general. But the first thing that a girl is going to notice about you is your look, and then when you go and approach her, it's going to be next your game. Those are going to be the first 2 things that she's instantly going to just categorize you in her head. Like, and it's not a shallow thing either. Like a lot of guys like to complain about like, oh, girls are so shallow because they only base off looks, blah, blah, blah. Guys do the same thing. We're all human. We all do the same thing. It's just in our nature. Nobody wants to end up with a person that they're not attracted to. If we're talking about attraction, it obviously has to do with both the personality traits a person has as well as their physical attributes. So I hate when people try to say, oh, basing it off looks is so shallow. It's not. Like we all want to be attracted to our partner. It's not going to work unless you're attracted to your partner. And part of that is their look. And your look is something that you have control over. A lot of people like to say, oh, like especially the black pillars, it could be, oh, it just matters how your genetics, how you're born is whatever. And they don't really do anything to improve themselves. But there's a lot of things that you can do to improve yourself. You can build a physique, which is probably the best thing that you can do. You can get better clothes, better haircut, like looking fresh with this fade right now. But there's a lot of different things that you can do for your look that you can just enhance, like especially a physique, like I said, which if you build a physique, not only is it just gonna like, you're gonna look good like when you're on the beach or whatever, when you're getting a little intimate with your partner, but you're also gonna look good whenever you're actually, you know, in clothes as well. Like you just look better in clothes, you're filling it out more. Look at these bolder shoulders. You know what I'm saying? So build up your physique and get better clothes, and then you're just gonna look 10 times better. So the approach whenever you go talk to the girl that you think is very cute, it's gonna have a 10 out of 10 better overall experience with her. No pressure, but I have a looks maxing course link in the description that covers all of this, as well as some bonus modules that cover game 2. Check that out if you'd like to, link the description below. But of course, that's only going to get your foot in the door, and there's a lot more that goes into it beyond that point. That's going to be like, again, like what creates the initial attraction, and she's going to categorize you like, yes, I could potentially date this person, let's see where this goes, or no, not my type. So once you get past that step, the next thing you need to do is like start implementing some other things, because again, it only gets your foot in the door. This is going to be the first piece of real advice that like nobody talks about that is actually going to make you more attractive, and that's going to be to assess your compatibility with the other person. A big problem that I had when I first started self-improvement and first started actually seeing some results is that I actually started creating attraction with women, and that wasn't normal for me. So when a girl started showing me attraction, I just automatically started getting attached and started getting obsessed and started like just really like revolving my life around that person. Basically just dating the first person that, you know, started to show me interest, and this created for really toxic relationships that just didn't work out because they were not meant to be in the first place. And I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to keep wasting your time with a woman that you're not really gonna end up marrying or anything like that. So you need to stop dating the first person that shows you attention. When you have standards, it's gonna show that you have pre-selection. What pre-selection is that you are able to show that you have other women interested in you, which is gonna want a girl to want you that much more. Because why? We all love to be winners, and a girl doesn't want to feel like you're settling for, like you're like desperate for, like she's your only option. She wants to feel like you chose her out of all the women in the world, all the women want you, and that out of them you chose her because she's the best person. And that's, you know, what a woman wants to feel like. So say you started self-improvement and you actually started to make some results and started to get some gains. You actually really started to become pretty attractive. Women started texting you a little bit, and even though they don't meet your standards, you actually shut them down. So then when the girl that you actually want comes along, she sees that other girls are interested in you, and then you get to choose her instead of like the people that you weren't actually attracted to, you weren't actually compatible with, you wouldn't have had a good relationship with, if that makes sense. I think compatibility is one of the most underrated things, especially when it comes to dating, and for whatever reason, nobody on the internet talks about it because it's not something that's like, it's not something sexy to sell you. You're talking about like, oh, you just need to get this compatibility. Everybody just wants the most people they can get rather than like the right person for them. You know, it's a quality over quantity thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to just go on a bunch of dates with a bunch of women that you don't really see yourself going anywhere with. You want to just find like somebody that you can actually enjoy their company. They look attractive, like just the whole package basically. So in order to do this, what you need to do is imagine your 10 out of 10 girl. Like close your eyes and imagine like, what does she look like? What does she act like? Like what's her personality traits? How do you want her to act with you? All these different things. And then imagine what kind of guy she'd actually want to be with. What kind of guy would she want to date? And, you know, picture like what he would be doing with his day. Like what kind of workouts he would be doing. What kind of business would he be starting? You know, all sorts of stuff like that. Would he be doing martial arts? All this just different stuff. And then become that guy. It's that simple. Just imagine you're 10 out of 10. What kind of guy you would want, become that guy, and just hold yourself to that standard and hold the woman that you date to that standard. Like don't date a woman that falls below that deviates below that, and have the balls to just say no. Like just keep that in mind. Like you don't have to date the first person that shows you attention, because if one girl shows you attention, more will, as long as you keep going on that same path. So don't stop until you get what you actually want. Don't settle for what just available just because it's available now. Next piece of advice that's not really talked about a whole lot is just to be authentic. And this is both terrible and phenomenal advice all in the same, because, you know, when you hear just be yourself, a lot of people just think that means that it's okay that they can just, you know, do what they want, watch TV all day, eat chips, sit on the couch, become a little bit of a couch potato, lazy, and not really ambitious. But that's not what it means at all. What it means is just to be, you know, authentic with your genuine interest. Don't pretend like you like something just to impress the girl that you have a crush on. Like have the balls to just tell her like, oh, that's not my thing. And that's going to create a lot more of a, you know, genuine experience with this person and build a lot more of a real deep connection, instead of like if you pretended like you like something that she liked just because she did, and then you're like basically pedestalizing her and putting yourself below her, which now she's just gonna have to look down on you because you just proved that you're kind of, you know, have a low self-esteem and you're worthless, and you don't have the frame and the confidence to just say like, to stick with what you actually like in yourself. And again, this is not an excuse, like when I say be authentic, to not be ambitious and working on your goals and stuff like that. If anything, it should mean that you work harder. Like when I got in a relationship with my girl, it's like I can't slow down. Like now I need to push even harder than I was before. Now I need to do even bigger and better things before. It just made me feel 10 times more ambitious. And that's what, another thing with the compatibility thing is, you want to look for somebody that inspires you and like that makes you want to work harder, that makes you like feel like when you're with them, you just get this burst of energy that makes you want to like just work relentlessly on your goals. And that's what she does for me. Like, that's why I tell you guys that she makes me so happy, is because when I'm with her, and like, it gives me so many ideas and different things that to make for videos for you guys, different things like in my martial arts, all this sorts of stuff, in my workouts, all sorts of stuff. And that's the kind of energy that you need to be getting from the other person, is just like somebody that motivates you, and just like their presence just inspires you to work harder. Another aspect of being authentic is just having the emotional maturity to confront problems in a healthy way. Because of a lot of the advice on the internet where like, oh, men have to be tough, like they can't show emotion, blah, blah, blah. A lot of guys get kind of psyoped to believe that they can't have emotions and they can't express them at all. But that's not the case, because there's really a right and a wrong way to go about it. No, you shouldn't be just like sitting there crying in front of your girl, like talking about your problems all the time. But there's a proper way to bring up problems in a relationship, and that's going to come across authentic, and it's going to make her actually more attracted to you than you would if you just bottled it up. Because when you bottle it up, not only do you just like shut down, you start acting different, and she can kind of tell, and she can feel that you're not present with her. You're just too busy thinking about this thing that's annoying you, even if it doesn't have to do with her. But it also creates this resentment, this silent resentment, because when you have a problem with something and she doesn't really know about it, you're still having this problem with her in your head, and she doesn't even know it exists. So you're just still creating these like negative thoughts about it, and just ended up reflecting that onto her, and she doesn't even know it's even going on. She doesn't even know that she did something wrong, and you're just sitting there like blaming her in your head subconsciously, and you don't even mean to. You're just like creating this resentment, and that's going to destroy relationships. So what you need to do is actually confront the problem in a healthy way. Go up to her and just be like, hey, I want to talk to you about this. It's something that makes me uncomfortable. Like, maybe I understand that you didn't do it like on purpose, whatever it may be. There's healthy ways to go about it, but you need to be a man about it. You need to find a healthy and mature way to be able to bring these problems up to her, so you can actually like solve it, versus resenting her for it. Like it's you guys versus the problem, not you versus her. That's the kind of vibe you need to create. You guys versus the problem. It's like when you're in a relationship, you guys are a team together, so just solve the problem together. Again, like a lot of guys think masculinity is about like shutting down your emotions and not having them, but that could be further from the truth. Masculinity and stoicism is not about not having emotions. It's about having emotions, understanding why you're feeling this way, and being able to control them. Not being controlled by your emotions, but having control over them. And again, last thing for being authentic is just knowing what you want. And this goes back to like just imagining your 10 out of 10 girl, how she acts, and just like knowing what kind of standards you have. So if you never really thought about your standards before, like what you really want out of a relationship and out of your woman, then take the time after watching this video to just sit there and stare at your wall or something, or grab a journal and just journal about like the different things that you want out of it, and just stick to it. Just have that, like have those set standards, and just stick with that, so you actually like can find somebody that you're compatible with. Again, I have a whole Looks Maxing course teaching you how to become the most attractive version of yourself that you possibly can. That also has some bonus modules that includes like different stuff about teaching you about games, social media, even my workout program that got me in shape, as well as some meal plans and stuff like that. So you can check it out, link in the description below. With that being said, remember to subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, linked in the description below, and remember, be better than you were yesterday.